This normally would have happened Friday, but because of a little comedy of errors with the post office, and the box wouldn't fit in the parcel thing, and I guess the guy couldn't get in the building or whatever. This thing had to go round and round, and it was supposed to show up then Saturday, but I don't know, somehow I think didn't get on the truck Saturday. So today it arrived. I got Here's the box. It's just a little slightly larger than our parcel boxes out front. So we're gonna. It's in the title. It's a Round2's repop of the D-7 with some modifications. We'll get into that once I get this thing open. Also got the switch to Stephanie's lightsaber under construction. For some reason, head up to Salt Lake City for a while. Come on, you. Very strong tape here. So yeah. Before I put my eye up here. All right. I mean, can't really fault the guy I bought it from for kind of overpacking. It's like, there we are. The UPS box turned into that. Here we go. In the collector's tin. I didn't quite notice the tin part, I think, when I bid on it, but it's like, but here's a box from back in the day. It's the same damn size. And I've gotten these in them, and they got on the box, in the parcel box, no problem. But let's go ahead and pop this guy open. See what we're dealing with. We got retro style directions. Let's get the peripheral stuff out of the way here. Directions. Propaganda from round 2 and all that. We got direct, decals here. As is the penchant for round 2 these days, they have both decals and just plain old peel off and stick on stickers. And I did make use of the stickers on the Enterprise kit to just basically test out. Okay, in this case, now it's just a backing sheet. So here's the decals, and you notice they have windows on. And not just the trifoil and the Klingon glyphs. It's like they've really gone into a bit here. Okay, back in here. Here we start getting into the nuts and bolts here. And it included the outer sticker that wasn't on the wrapping. So I got that. That's a nice touch. And as typical of Polo lights and the current little dome kit, a dome stand. But now let's bring in the old one from Legend. A comparison. Here's the decal sheet from the original kit. Just you're not going to be able to see that, but it's just got the 2 trifoils and the glyphs for the back and engine. This, pretty sure this decal sheet is useless. Everything here is still on the screws here, so I'm gonna let that. Somewhere, I'm pretty sure I have one with the lights and the old stand. This is a later kit. After cancellation. I don't see it. Yeah, there's no NC on NBC, so yeah, this is after the show was canceled. A little swirly in the plastic there, but let's get into the start with the main hull. Here's gonna be useful that I have a trash can next to me now. I don't think I'm gonna worry about it. And they got all the rigmarole printed on the inside now instead of 1968, 1990, 2011, Paramount Pictures. One thing about the hull here, and we'll compare. Here's the original kit. Notice on the leading edge of the original kit, you got a little kind of a washboard type, like almost like gills type of thing. And also, there's a little detail right along here. And basically, what we're looking at, this was what the kit was supposed to be completely finished with all the details patterned on. This, however, they did some change and made it like it actually was, because they were in, again, typical of the show. They were in a bit of a hurry. They needed the model now. And so it was set off, not completely finished, not completely detailed. And so they don't have the grill part on here, and it's flat surface here. Let's compare the chrome part to the chrome sprue looks to be pretty much identical. The only difference is the front bit fell, broken off here, but it's still in the bag. But everything else is the same, except this part here. This is in the original kit right here. That part that goes right behind the grill. This one doesn't have it. Been completely omitted. So let's start digging into the rest of this here. And I'm not particularly worried about keeping everything in the bag, because this was mainly for shipping purposes. It's not being shipped anywhere. It's here. It's home. It's not going nowhere. So. Put that down there, and yeah, because in the original kit, this part, this grill part here, it's open. Let me pull it out here. So you can put the chrome part up behind it and do the bling that way. Yeah, it's like you should be able to see a little daylight behind it. It's open because we put that chrome bit right there. They got rid of it. Just close it in. And everything else appears to be the same on that part of it. Nothing much different. Okay. Nothing different on the head of the ship. Those are all the same. on the boom. Let's see. The only difference in the two here is they've omitted the parts for that stupid stand they had on this version of the kit. But also, no windows cut into the thing. Because remember, this original kit had a light in the front of the thing. So it would light up, some clear parts, but also these holes. This one, nope, not there. Because the studio kit, there was no lights and the windows just painted on. And all right, here we go. Get this back up here. Top of what is assumed to be the bridge. In the original kit, there's little holes here, so you can put little green pegs, clear green pegs. Because yeah, it would light up when you light it up. And we got to get here. On the sides here, on the original kit, these are open because again, put little green inserts there. Yep, it's all solid. Let's make sure. Yes, here we go. Yep, this one's got the green bits. One little peg is coming up, but everything else, these are the ones that would on the sides of the head and then the two pegs in the bridge area. Otherwise, it's mostly just, I don't know what condition the old molds are in, but they just filled in a few spots that we're going to. And this is largely the original mold. So you get the little bits here that were for hanging, hanging it from a string. But since that's really not an option here, because this is that's the hole for the peg. You have the thing for the peg right there, and it's gone. And I missed my guess. I think, again, part of the original molding, I think right there is where you would drill your hole for your spring, for your string. So there's still vestiges of the old molds here. There we go. Oh, engines. Well, they did something. There's some differences in the engines, I think. Yeah, the rear engine part, it's still got the parts here, though. Because it would be, these little bits on the end here go on this part of the engine right there. Little thing. They're still on the sprue, but the modification here is there's no place for them. There's just a grill here, because that's the way it was on the actual model. Now, I've got a few of the old kits around here somewhere that I'm just buried back there, but I hadn't till now gotten one of the new ones, and I wanted to make me. I've seen some about the differences in the kit. Okay. So we want to get some nomenclature on this. Call this the D-7A, and this is the D-7B. And then, got a few more of the lungy bits on there. There we go on that. Hey, Daniel. Some debate under this. Yeah, I think I'll just put everything in here. It's easy to identify which is which. Just want to find them anyway. So these are gray. Those are nice little duck egg blue. There's enough room in here for everybody. I can tell which chrome bit is. In fact, I'm keeping those chrome bits in the bag for now. that in there, and that in there, and that. And compare and contrast the directions. Because this box is, I'm not throwing it out, but I'm not, but I'm also not going to rely on it for storage right now. Here, bits. Runaway clear bit. This is probably older boxes. Again, this was post cancellation, so we're talking at least 69, 70. So I think we can comfortably state this box is about 50 years old. Not meant to last half that long. Well, yeah, I don't think we'll look at the directions in the bed here. Put them back together here. Before we have the inevitable spill and everything falls over and I got to cuss up a storm. Jet boy. Okay, so let's put this aside for a minute. Deal with that in a minute. All right. Up, it does include the directions for how to hang it, in the thing. And just to show that they have copied the directions probably a little too closely. Here's the original sheet. Here's the new one. Now they've fixed it as far as having to put, done it to put, there's no pegs to put in the bridge, and the stuff on the side is already there. But the assembly on the rest of the ship, though, they pretty much included everything, including like I said, this part. It's not even in there, but they got that in there. And they talk about putting this on there. It's like, yeah, you got the parts, but there's no place to put them there because that detail's been removed. So, and they have swapped out the direction of the stand stuff because here they got the proper dome stand. Whereas here it's this kind of weird cradle thing. They never quite worked right. I guess that does go on top. And then down below is the guide for all the decals, but they didn't really have one. They didn't have on the other one. They just said, "Look at the box." Oh shit! All right. Let's do it the hard way. Now, not sure when I'm going to get around to building that, but eventually. Nope, get back here. Back here. Throw the floor open to any questions. Not just about the ship, but anything you want to talk about. A little shuffling here. Come here. Come on. Oh. All right. Falling over, you piece of crap. All right. Oh. Artwork on the thing. So let's get this stuff back in a little more order. I've just been reminded of the new Voyager game coming out across the universe. Interesting. It's not my usual type of fare these days, but got on the wish list on Steam and find out you need Windows 11 to run it on the PC. And this thing will not run Windows 11. So it's probably going to be a while before I can partake in that one. Let's see where there. Let's try this again. Okay. Be a bit. God, son of a bitch. All right. There, I think. Won't be disturbed. All right. Okay. Back up. What the hell? Okay. That was the first one of those I got, and then one of in the tin box. All the newer Enterprise kits when I got just regular cardboard boxes. So, come on, you. Okay, well, tell you what. I think that'll do it for now. I think between that and shipping, actually, even with the shipping, I got a real good deal on it. It's like less than $30, I think. In the stores, it retails for like $50. You can like chop up to inflation because it's styrene plastic is a petroleum product. Okay, that thing we don't realize. Oil. You have no idea what oil is used for. Gasoline is the least thing that is used. Of oil, with maybe 2% goes into gasoline. The rest of it is industrial things like various plastics. So the whole thing about end oil, you would end Western civilization. Okay. This thing, we really need better education of how much stuff petroleum is used for. It's not just motor fuel. But that's another tirade for the day. So I think we'll just wrap it there. I'm definitely going to be getting on a little later for a fortnight stream. In the meantime, we will talk at you later.